My name is David. I'm a Play Frontier from the Genesis Group. Today, I just want to give you guys some market update. First, I like to use the Binance chart. Let's look at Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? Honestly, there's nothing all that special. All right, this up move, it can be just another bull trap. All right, so let me explain. And remember, I did show you guys that chances are inflation was going to go higher. It did go higher. And as soon as that news came out, you had a sudden drop, but then it was a bear trap, right? It went up right after the sudden drop. However, this can be also a bull trap. You're trapping in the bulls. So here, you see a move like this. Yes, this was a bull trap. You had a nice little wick up. It was a fake. It moved down. Okay. You had a nice little wick down. It was a fake. It moved up. You had a nice little wick up. It was a fake. It moved down. This little wick down here was that inflation news, but it was a bear trap that moved up. And it can touch up like this, but really, if you look at this move here, I mean, to be honest, it's just a bear flag. Okay? It's just a bear flag. It's nothing special. I mean, if you want to look at it like this, let's get out of here, discard it. Let's go to this one. Okay. So, you had this 30,000 back when it was around $30,000, up, down, up, down, up, down, and boom. That was a bear flag. Well, I mean, this isn't all that impressive. It just kind of looks like the same thing. So, like, I'm not convinced that it's going up yet. You got to do better than that. Okay. That's just my opinion. Bitcoin isn't really showing anything yet that is the bottom is in. Now, if I go by Crypto Crew University, remember there's only really 2 channels that I would promote because, like, I don't want to ruin my name by promoting a bunch of BS channels. But one channel I do promote is Steve right here from Crypto Crew University. And from here, if you look at the Pi cycle, okay, Pi cycle, well, when it did cross, it pretty much marked the bottom. When it crossed in 2018, it marked the bottom. And it's like moments away, maybe it's crossing now, where it's about to mark the bottom for 2022. Okay? And so you see it's like right there where it's about to cross. So maybe just one more leg down to finalize that pull down, right? From the red line crossing over to the green line. Or maybe it's crossing now. Here is the 100-day moving average, which is blue, and the 200-day moving average. Or I don't know if it's days or weekly moving average. But anyway, this is in 2019. Notice when it crossed, the bottom was already in. Okay. And you could say, maybe in 2022 already crossed. In 2015, when it crossed, the bottom was already in. Okay. It's really close. All right. It's really close. And if it's this close, that means the bottom probably is already in. The bottom's probably already in. And if it's in, it is in at 17,500, right? Or 17,600. Okay. So there's that. Now here, if we look at Optical Arts, which is the only other channel that I would, promote, Optical Art and Crypto Crew University. Well, in Optical Arts, he believes that maybe around early August next month, we can go down to 16,500. Okay. So this is kind of like a possibility of how it's going to look like on its way down. So it's going to go down to the 300-day moving average. All right. So now you're probably wondering, well, what do I think is the best thing to do? Great question, right? Well, let me show you what I think. Okay. If you look at this, well, it doesn't show very well. Like in 2018, it crossed, you had to move up, but it was not too much after that it went back down again. And then you had a nice little run, yeah? And here, even after it crossed here, it went up, but shortly after it went back down, but not as far down, okay? Now, let's look at here. It crossed the bottom was already in. You had a nice little move up, but you also had a nice little move back down not too far after. Okay, that was 2019, right? Same here. When it crossed, the bottom was already in. But right little after, it went back down again. It went back down again. Okay, a little after. So what I'm thinking is, even if this crosses here and we have to move up, we're going to have a nice little move back down. Now, if the bottom is already in, at 17,500, well, and I see that in optical arts, he's thinking it's going to go down in August. What I'm guessing is that even if the bottom is in, we're going to have another move down. Just it's not going to be all the way down or breaking new lows. So if we have it like this, it's going to go up, but then it's going to go back down. And so when it goes back down, around maybe a little under 20,000, that's when I would actually buy in more positions. Because remember, I put in the buy orders from back when it was like 23,000 all the way down to 12,000, but I still have, like 40-50% on the side in stable coins, where I told you guys last time, maybe it was like over a week ago, where I put in another 5, actually even a little bit more than 5% in when Bitcoin was back at 19,000 something, but I bought in with the reserve on the side. So what I would do again is, chances are it's going to go back down a little after, even with the indicators crossing. And when it goes back down to like 19,000 or close to 20,000, a little under 19,000, I'll probably add in another 5-10%, okay, of my reserves, okay, into Bitcoin. No other altcoins, only Bitcoin. And then I would use that and put it on to get interest. All right, I'll get interest, but that's what I would do. And that'll be my safety trade, where if the bottom is in, then at least from the 22,000 all the way down to the 18,000 that I put in buy orders with this reserves that I bought in, the money, the stable coins I use from the reserve to buy in Bitcoin, I should be, around 30% in, a little over 30% in Bitcoin at that time. And then if it does go under, and whatever goes down to 15, 16, 12,000, then it'll trigger all the buy-ins. So I'll be over like 40-50%. I'll be over 50% in Bitcoin when that time happens. But even if it doesn't go under, I'll still be over around 30%. Okay? And so being in at least around 30% Bitcoin at its bottom, that's a pretty good move. And I'll be collecting interest on it. All right. So that is the plan. And then if it goes down further, well, I'll be more than 30. It could be like, depending on how far it goes down, it could be like, 35% to 45% or more, right? And all that would dollar cost average in of when I bought Bitcoin. And so that is my game plan. Okay, so because if I look at it from past history, I gotta use, no, I'm sorry. If I look at it from past history, yeah, Bitcoin will go back down a little. Even if I looked at it 2015 or 2019, you had a nice little move back down a little after. And so that can be in August or late July, because in late July, you're going to have the Fed meeting around the 26th, 27th, where they're going to raise the interest rate probably another 0.75, 750, 75 basis point, or even a full 100 basis point. And that should drag the prices down. And so even if it doesn't make new lows, it'll definitely, I would imagine, after a day or two or before a day or two, it's going to drag the prices down enough for me to go in and allocate another, 5 to 10% of reserves into Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying? And then go from there. Okay? So that's my game plan. All right, that's my game plan. And if you look at 2015, it went down, it went back up. When it goes back down, I'll put another 5 to 10%. But when it goes back up, and then when it goes back down around that price range, well, yeah, I could put in more allocations. Okay. So that's what I'm expecting. Either ways, I got to try to make the most out of whatever happens. Right. And so for me, I will still leave the buy-in orders that I already have already down to 12,000. But when Bitcoin goes back down because of, they're going to price in the Fed's having a meeting, when it goes back down under 20,000, hopefully even under lower, to the high 18,000 like last time, I could allocate more of the reserve that I didn't put in on the buy orders to get into Bitcoin, so I could continue to buy Bitcoin at its lowest price. All right. And in case it does break down and go down even under the 17,588 here on this chart, no problem. I already put in the buy orders and I still have more on the reserve. Right? I still have another, more than half left on the reserve that I could put in. So it's just a safety trade. Either ways is going to be, I'm trying to make a win-win situation for my game plan. And so that's my game plan. Remember, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, and I just showed you why. And then, you take in that information and then you do what you think is best, okay? Now, if I look at Bitcoin in a 5-year chart, the Bitcoin dominance is only at 43.5%. All right. When Bitcoin dominance was like that was in May 2018, right? And in this bear market, the Bitcoin dominance is going to go up, okay? And so Bitcoin dominance went all the way up to 77, 71% after like 14 months later in 2019, September 2019. So what do I think is going to happen? What's going to happen is Bitcoin dominance is going to rise up over 68%, probably back into the 70% range, and over a year from now. And that means the prices of the altcoins will drag down even more. Okay, so even at this point, I'm still waiting. And then what I want you guys to look at is, or what I'm looking at, well, let's look at it from a 1-year chart. Look at this if you look at this, I mean, it looks pretty good that Bitcoin is bottoming out on the dominance. Okay, because you could see this move like that. So you can see that Bitcoin might go down a little bit more on its dominance, but it's gonna, move up, move up, move up. You see what I'm saying? And when you see that, what's gonna happen is you'll see that the price of altcoins are gonna get smashed. I mean, it's gonna be just brutal. So like if you look at Bitcoin, okay, and this is why I'm not buying into altcoins. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It sounds crazy. Why would I do it? I've been in this market. I know better. So Bitcoin hit its bottom here. Yes. What was it? January 2019. Okay, that was, whatever, January 2019. Now, let's look at NEO, USDT at the monthly. Okay, January 2019. NEO went down to $5.39. Okay, that was the bottom. But it didn't hit its real bottom here to $3.89. Well, how long did that take? That happened in March of 2020, which is 14 months later. 14 months later, it hit its bottom. Well, damn. Okay, I mean, let's look at it again. And that's what happened to a lot of coins. A lot of coins went through that. What am I doing? What? Oh, maybe I'm on the wrong one. Okay, sorry, people. Well, let's look at this again. 14 months later, right? So, once again. No. 2018, well, whatever, January 2018. Here for NEO, it was until March of 2019 where it hit its bottom. But that's for NEO. Okay, NEO's not a bad project. I mean, you had other coins where it hit its bottom in August. Okay, 2019. So here's another one. Let's track another one down. So either ways, what am I saying? The bottom is not in for the altcoins right now. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like VET. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into VET. But let's look. Okay, anyway. Look at this bottom here. Look at this bottom candle. When did that happen? 2020. Okay, in March. March 2020. So March 2020, okay, that's a big sign right there. March 2020, all right? Let's look at TRX. It was under a penny. March. So March for a lot of these bigger projects, that was their bottom. March. Okay, so it's about 14 months after. Probably that's because more money was coming into the market. So even though Bitcoin dominance was going up, because there's so much more money into the market at that time, that the other coins didn't hit its bottom. But if you compare it to BTC at the time, it was probably getting a butt whooping. Okay. March 2020. So all these coins, that means is actually, if it was January 2018, March 2020, That took over 2 years, 26 months later, 26 months later, all the coins hit their bottom. Now, why is it 26 months later the coins hit their bottom, right? So let's look at what was BTC's dominance in March 2020. Around March 2020, Bitcoin dominance was 66%. It wasn't even at the 70%, 66%. Probably that's because at this time, so much liquidity was getting drawn out of the crypto space that even though Bitcoin dominance was less than 70%, it was still enough where it dragged down the prices. Okay, so it took 26 months for all the coins to hit their bottom after Bitcoin hit its bottom. And, we're going to find out when Bitcoin hits its bottom. It took about 26 months. So I'm showing you guys all of that. And why I'm planning what I'm planning is why I'm not buying the altcoins. I'm just buying Bitcoin. And if anything, I'm going to have stable coins on the side. Boom. That's it. It's not, that's the game plan. Why? I have experience. I remember how this works. Okay. So, of course, I love KOK-COIN. I love the project. I keep continuing to stake in. But let's be honest, right? You guys, Lady Cokeplay, she didn't freaking ask me to do this to lie to you guys, okay? She, very honest, right? And I'm just telling you guys to be honest, to show you guys that I'm being honest. If 40 cent is the bottom when Bitcoin hit its bottom, well, what do you think is going to be KOK-COIN's price 20 something months from now, or 14 to 20 something months from now? It's going to be probably around 25 cents. It may be lower. Yeah, that's just the reality of it. Okay, that's just the reality of it. Why? Why am I saying this? It'll just take a long time to get there. But the question is why? Well, let's look at ETC. Okay, well, ETC's bottom was again, it was, but that's not a good enough example. I need something with a long track record. Let's look at TRX. Long, oh no, not long. No, I'm sorry. Let's look at NEO. NEO has a long track record. Okay. So NEO's original bottom price was $5.39, and then $3.89. Okay, so 3 to 9, 539. Well, let's get a calculator. 389 divided by, okay. So $3.89 divided by $5, was it 39 cents? Yeah. That's a 72% drop. 72% drop. Okay, 72. Well, we have 40 times 0.72. That's about 28 cents, right? So can KOK-COIN from here, years down the road, or a year plus or two down the road, go down to 28, 25 cents, which I've said in another video, that was the price where the whales were coming in. That's where they're going to drag the price down to. Yeah, that's a reality. That's a realistic thing, right? And that's why I said that's really the best time that, in my opinion, the Koch family, we need to start putting in the buy orders around 25 cents, because that way it'll prevent whales from dragging the price down more, even though they're gonna have a wick down that's gonna go down past 25 cents. But that's how we make the whales suffer, because they want us to keep buying in at these higher prices, even at 65 cents, when they know they're going to bring it down to 25 cents. You wait till they go down to 25 cents. You buy it all up when they were buying it from the very beginning and they're making no money. Then it's going to want to make the whales not come back, because they know this family, the Koch family, we know better. We know their game plan. And so we're taking money from them, or making sure they're not earning money. But if anything, they're losing money. We're taking their money. And so they're not going to want to come around this KOK-COIN ecosystem of trying to pump and dump the price like they're doing to these other coins, because they don't know what's going on. but I'm letting you guys know what's going on. Okay, and I'm just showing you guys. I'm showing you guys why. Okay, I'm doing what I'm doing for you guys exactly what I wish I had someone do for me when I suffered the whole way through last bear season. All right, so yeah, that's the game plan. Okay, that's my game plan. Remember, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, and I just gave you reasons why. Okay, all right, everyone. Please take good care of yourself, physical care of yourself. Eat healthy, exercise. Surround yourself with the right people. Um, yeah, please be mentally and spiritually healthy. Okay, now's a great time to know God. Once again, inflation, like I said, I don't know how many times I have to keep warning everyone. You want to prepare for longer inflation or inflation's at high levels, if not, get worse. Um, and, prepare for supply shortages. All right, you got places around the world, they're rioting. Look at Sri Lanka. They just took over the government, right? And even if you hear of deflation in months to come, only reason why inflation could decrease is not that the price of the food that you're eating is going down, but they're averaging in the electronics. So you have stores where they have a lot of like TVs, uh, computers, laptops, where they're overstocked. And so in order to get any form of revenue, they're going to really lower the price to try to get people to buy. And all of that gets averaged into the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. So stuff that we buy, not even once a year, stuff that we might buy once every 2-3 years, they're going to average that into the stuff that we have to buy on a daily basis, like food, gas, and energy. And that can drag CPI prices down when we all know CPI prices are higher than what it is. Okay, I mean, like, and CPI is more than 9.1% if you live in the States, or CPI is higher than whatever your country's claiming it is. If they measure the CPI in the States back when the way they did in 1980s, CPI, I mean, inflation is at a historical high in America. It is over 18-20%. All right, but they changed the method of measuring the CPI. And one of the way they changed the methods is back in the 1980s, if you were accustomed to eating steak, then they will measure the price of how much steak went up into the CPI. Now, when you were accustomed to eating steak, they will assume that instead of eating steak, now you're eating pork. And so they will dollar cost in the average of pork instead of steak into the CPI, because they're saying you changed your what you're consuming based on the price. And of course, that's going to lower the value of the true CPI. It's a scam. You shouldn't value in pork because now I'm eating pork because you guys couldn't get your set the economy up right. No, you need a value in steak. That's what I was eating before. That's the real CPI. And so it's changes like that that made the CPI lower. So that's all. Just I'm letting you guys, just informing you. All right. All right, everyone. Love you guys. I'm praying for you in Jesus' name. Now's a great time to know God. Okay. Things will still, I imagine, it's going to get worse. You want to surround yourself in the right community. All right, everyone. God bless you. I'm praying for you in Jesus' name. And of course, KOK-OIN. Bye.